Hi, everybody. This is Sharona, and welcome to another episode of Conversations That Matter Most. And of course, I'm here with my totally groovy and exceptional person, Claudette, the
Hi,
stepmom coach.
hi everyone. Hi Sharona. I'm so excited to be here today. Yay!
Yay! I'm already jumping out of my chair because today's episode is how to find your zaniness even when everything is Meshugganeh.
Yeah.
So this is, and for those that don't know what Meshugganeh means a little wacky, a little crazy, loco, just
Down to the curb, whatever.
yeah, Meshugganeh. Anyway, so that's what we're going to talk about. And for those who are new, just a little quick background. Claudette and I have been doing this over, almost 20 months now.
Yeah.
And we're almost up to 2 years. And we started this because we realized a lot of times, we chit chat about different topics, and we realize, a lot of times we don't have a starting point of when working with our clientele of how to have conversations. So we just put this together to share our insights and experience and wisdom, and hopefully this will be stepping stones for our viewers to have deeper conversations.
Yes.
And and if you go to our YouTube page, Conversations That Matter Most. My brain just went off somewhere. I had to slide it back in. There's all kinds of topics, everything from motivation to procrastination to dealing with conflict, have effective communication, how to set healthy boundaries. So we're going to keep doing this because life is intense, and sometimes, like today, we want to talk about how to keep a little zaniness in it. And for the viewers who have been here following us, thank you. Awesome. And Claudette, did you want to add anything?
Well, one of the things that I think is unique to you and I, Sharona, is that our topics are not scripted. And many times we come together having no clue what we're going to talk about. And today is one of those days. But the fact that, a lot of times we're using our personal experience, what's going on in the world around us and in our personal lives to fill in what's going on, is because I know, and I know you know, Shona, that we're not the only ones that are going through these kinds of issues. And so we talk from personal experience, we talk from our professional experience as well, as Sharona is a midlife woman coach and I'm a stepmom coach. And so we've lived through a lot of different scenarios. We've had experience in different areas in our lives, and that's why we come together. And so some of the topics we're sharing a lot of times is based on our personal experience and our professional experience. So none of this is scripted, just in case you're wondering. And we love to have fun. As you
Yes.
notice, when we come together, especially in the beginning, we love to have fun because there's so much pressure and tension and craziness in the world that just a little bit of crazy fun and zaniness just helps us to get through some of the issues that we may be going through. And so it's not because we are not serious about what we do or we don't take to heart what we do, but we love to put a little bit of, just a little bit more laughter, a little bit of, not make it so heavy, so that in order that you may hear our message and appreciate what we have to share.
Yeah, and I think one of the things is too is a lot of times I've noticed that people have this thing about if we're too much fun or we're laughing too hard that we're not taking it seriously. And I remember someone said years ago, things are significant, but it really isn't that serious. And that and they have proven when you are in a playful way, and if you're bringing in a little humor, people hear things quicker.
Yeah.
So yes, so sometimes I happen to be one of those people that wacky thoughts come through my mind very quickly when my mind is in brain is attached to my body, because my brain does wander off somewhere and who knows when it comes back, but it always comes, loops around and comes back. um, and it was interesting, as you were talking, one of the things I realized is okay, so I'm a midlife woman. I deal with midlife issues just like many of us out there, women of a certain age, as we would say. And one of the things that I'm dealing with right now is taking care of an elderly person, parent, and I also deal with, the 3 a.m. insomnia crap. So the other day, I was trying to cook lunch, and this is where the zaniness has to come in. I was trying to cook lunch, and I have an electric stove. Was trying to turn on the burner, and for some reason, the burner wasn't working, but the burner next to it was. And I just went, because I was under stress and I didn't have sleep, and I went into extreme panic mode. Oh my God, the stove is broken. Somehow the wires got crossed. Now, in a normal, with enough sleep and not under stress, I would have figured out I turned the wrong knob. And it was like, oh, however, it took me like 10 minutes to remember that, but it's like, okay, so one of the things is, I could sit there and going, oh, how stupid of me and all that. And I said, well, at least I know the stove isn't broken, and at least I know that I can figure it out even without any sleep and even with a lot of stress. So anyway, I just needed. So,
And this is a great example, right? How many times in life do we go through moments where we're exhausted, we're tired? I know with stepmoms, it happens where they're overwhelmed with all the craziness that's going on in their lives, and especially with summer coming, they're going to have a house full of kids in the house, and they're going to be complaining, I'm bored, I don't know what to do, this sucks, I hate it here, blah, blah, blah. And so you're like not thinking, right? You're not thinking because your thought process is being hijacked.
yes.
Is being hijacked by the stress, anxiety, and probably no lack of sleep. And so you are into basic instinct mode, which is like either attack or retreat.
Or just get paralyzed, just freeze there in the moment.
Or you're freezing in the moment. And so you're like, but this isn't who I am. And so what so some of the things that we were talking about this week and why we brought this topic up is, doing silly, crazy things. Like when things are when we feel so stressed, sometimes doing silly things. And one of the things I remember we talked about is like sitting in the kiddie pool.
Yes.
On our deck when it's really hot, because it just takes us out of our routine and let's do something great. Or I love what you were sharing about the sandcastle.
Yeah, so one of the things is, I know, I thought, one of the things I did years ago, I had a little kiddie pool, because I love the beach. Don't get there that often, but I thought, okay, I have a kiddie pool, let's make it a beach. So I got a bucket of sand. You can get sand, and just and then I said, in that bucket of sand, I can make tiny little little sandcastles using like little things and I thought, oh, and then I remembered that there's these things called Zen gardens, like these miniature Zen gardens that has little sand in it, and you can have a rock in there and you can rake around it. I'm going, okay, so now maybe what I'll do is get a little bigger sand thing. Of course, my cat probably will use it for an outdoor kitty box, but whatever. But I thought, you know what, that would be, so then I could sit there. Oh, and then I thought, was the other thing. When next time I have one of those fancy little drinks with the parasol, right? I could put the umbrella down there, get a little tiny beach ball. Yeah. So that way I feel like I'm at the, and then what I used to do too is put, sounds of the ocean on. So it feels like you're at the beach and you're in your backyard.
And you may not physically be there, but sometimes we need to do something out of the ordinary to pull us out of the craziness of our lives. Because if we don't do something zany, we are just going to get sucked into all this drama and then we're stuck, right?
Right.
And so some of the other things I'm thinking is like doing some painting, like, taking like water paint and just play and paint yourself, right?
Right.
Because there's something about doing something so out of your character that sort of like lets you see like, wow, it puts life into perspective, because you can stay focused on all the drama that's going on, and sure, you're going to be there, but what is it going to actually give you, right? If you stay stuck in that drama, if you keep focusing on the drama of your life, what is it actually going to give you? Just more drama.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow you to think clearly, to think differently. And so that's why sometimes by doing something crazy, something out of the ordinary, like sitting in the kiddie pool maybe, or maybe it's not that crazy for you. I know I have. But there's this paint that is now available where you throw this powdered paint and you're full of colors. Well, can you imagine how much fun that could be? And at that moment, that little moment in time, you're thinking of nothing else except what's happening now and having fun.
Yeah, and you know what? I think, and one of the things I was thinking of as you were talking, I don't know if you had this in your schools, but there was, in some of my schools I went to, they had backwards day. And you were, right? And I thought, you know what, maybe, because you were talking about getting out of the usual train. How about if you decide that you have maybe a backwards 2 hours where you put your clothes on backwards, turn them inside out, you say or opposite day, what you say is opposite what really is you're saying, and all. So it's just something that, again, a lot of times we might have to go back to what we did as children and as young adults, because we forget, because we do get caught up in the everyday survival mode and every day. So, think of ways that you can shake it up without causing harm to you and those around you, but shake it up a little bit, and maybe put on wild music and get out your maracas and just dance wildly. Well, playing the drums, or smacking pans, just smack some pans. Yeah. So
and as you said, Sharona, I think it's just to do whatever to get you out of that rut of feeling things are bad, things are not going well, I'm feeling stressed out. And it may not solve any of your problems. You may actually end up being at the same place you were when you first started, except that even if you came back to the same spot you started in the beginning, there's a little bit of zaniness that entered your life for that little bit of time.
And I think it gives you a little bit of breathing room. You know, and in those moments when whatever you're doing to bring in some, finding some zaniness, you know, putting on a clown nose, whatever it is, it's there's that moment, even if it's 10 minutes, what happens is the stress is you know, and I think it has to have some kind of action to it, because the stress is reduced. The drama might, yeah, you're right, you might still have to deal with the issue, but we can't, you know, sometimes we got to remind ourselves we can't fix it all today.
No. And you need something to take you out of the context of where you are so that you can think differently, right?
Right.
Takes you out of the thought process of being stuck in the drama, the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm. So for that little bit of moment, it allows you to think differently. And you know, when you think about it, when we're taking showers, when we're driving in the car or going for a walk, a lot of times that's when we have creative ideas, right?
Right.
Because we're stopping to do something different. We're giving our brain time to process and look in our heads for possible solutions to something we may have had similar interactions with.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, and again, we have to give ourselves permission to say, you know what? I know I got all this stuff going on. I need some creative, zany. Maybe I'll just go out and blow some bubbles.
Oh, those are, you know what? That is one of my favorite things to do, blow bubbles, especially even if you're by yourself, go to a park where there's little kids and see what it does when you start blowing bubbles. There is something really special when you start blowing bubbles. People start to smile. Little kids are jumping. It just changes the entire mood of the entire. And you know, those are things that cost practically nothing, if anything, but changes the entire feeling around you, not only of yourself, but of the people around you.
Yeah. And, you know, one of the things on a physiological foundation, think about it. To blow bubbles, it's like a Zen thing. You got to put it in, and then you got to take a breath and blow it out. And it slows things down, because you're trying to, you know, I don't know about you, but when I get one of those little wands, I'm trying to blow the biggest bubble possible that will float around, right? And so if you think about it, you're in that biology of it, and the action of it, it actually slows everything down. And you're so focused on that, again, for that short little bit of time, you're taking a vacay from your day.
Yeah, exactly. And so I would love to hear from our listeners, what are some of the zany things you do when everything is Meshugganeh, when things are going wacky or out of control in your life? What are some of the things you've done? Maybe you like to cook. Maybe you go for a jog or a walk, or maybe you just sit outside and read, whatever it is. Or you love blowing bubbles and balloons and have a water balloon fight, or you know what? We'd love to hear your creative ideas and share them with us. Share them in the comment box below. It would be great to hear what you have to say.
It would. And, you know, because, you know, this is a community and we're here to help each other. And you might be doing something that somebody else will say, I never thought of that, and vice versa. And, you know, here's something also. So if there's a stepmom who just maybe is having a challenging time and doesn't even know how to get the zaniness in, because it just feels like one more thing I got to come up with, how can they get a hold of you so that they can maybe, get some suggestions of how to do that?
So thank you, Sharona. So if you're a stepmom and you're about to go nuts or crazy, or the stepkids are getting on your nerves, or maybe it's like the ex-wife is like, you can't stand it, and one more text from her or whatever, I'd love to hear from you. So you can reach me at Claudette at stepmomcoach.com. You can also follow me at on my website at stepmomcoach.com. I'm on social media, so you can definitely find me using hashtag stepmomcoach or hashtag stepmomwisdom. And just check out my website and my Facebook page, and let me know how I can help you. Now, Sharona, if there is a midlife woman who is going around with all these changes in their lives and wondering, okay, what can I do to get a hold of my life and move forward? How can they get a hold of you?
Thanks, Claudette. So you can, if you're a midlife woman and you're in the throes of change and it just feels like way too much, you could reach me at Sharona at step
No,
coach.
no, that's
No,
it, Sharona.
it's you. It's you.
What about you?
Okay. Sharona at midlifewomendancingwithchange.com. Website is www.midlifewomendancingwithchange.com. You can find me on social media with the hashtag midlife women dancing with change, or emotional wisdom, hashtag emotional wisdom. There's a quick little freebie download there on the website that you can check out, called Thriving in the Midst of Midlife Change. And I would love to hear from you. And maybe again, maybe you've been trying some stuff as a midlife woman and it's not working. We can creatively brainstorm and come up with some new ideas that you can probably put into your daily life very quickly. So I want to thank everybody for being here. And remember, check out our YouTube page, Conversations That Matter Most. You can also, we have a Facebook page and we have a Twitter page. And so check those out. Follow us, subscribe, write in the comments below.
Share with your friends.
And also, go through and check to see if there's another topic that you might want to look at. And so that's it for today. So as we sign off, I want to thank Claudette for being a awesome co-human being on this journey of empowering other women.
And I want to thank Sharona for being an awesome midlife woman expert and sharing her amazing wisdom with all of us, including me.
Including me. Yes. So everybody, go find some zaniness in your day today, and we'll see you next time on Conversations That Matter Most. Bye for now.
Everyone. Take care.